Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering another Marvel Cinematic Universe film, this time Doctor Strange.
After a horrible car accident, brilliant neurosurgeon Stephen Strange must find a way and a cure for healing his hands. Now his quest begins as he goes to Kamar-Taj in Nepal, where he studies under the Ancient One who teaches him the ways of magic and alternate realities. New skills of interdimensional travel and spells.
And no scissors.
That's right. Strange soon discovers that he must protect the world from a deadly enemy who is out to destroy
and from devastation.
To unite all people within our nation.
Well, before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Yes. Have to say, when they first said that Benedict Cumberbatch was chosen for this role, it was a surprise, and all I could picture in my head was him performing as Sherlock. Mm-hmm. And I knew it would be interesting to see how he would do the role. Have to say, with the beard, he looked hot.
Okay.
So we watched it, and we were very, very pleased that this movie turned out to be absolutely entertaining, terrific, magnificent, and really brought to life the comic book hero. So,
yes. We were surprised they were making a Doctor Strange film in the first place because, you know, when they had the startup of the cinematic universe, they had the basic ones of Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Avengers, etc. Mm-hmm. Of course, you knew, when they added new ones, to the roster when Phase 2 and 3 were announced, like, okay, they're going to expand on it. Guardians of the Galaxy, we figured we knew was coming. Spider-Man, we knew had to come eventually, just took too long. Black Panther was a surprise, and then Doctor Strange was probably the biggest surprise of all. Definitely. Because he hasn't had anything outside of an older animated movie from the 2000s.
And his equivalent in the DC Universe, Dr. Fate, neither one of these characters had ever really been given anything that would highlight them as the superheroes they are. Mm-hmm. So
yes, it was really different for the MCU to do, and it was a risk, but it seemed that it paid off because Absolutely. They did a whole entirely different movie from what they usually do in their cinematic universes. This is before Infinity War and stuff, when they were getting to their end game.
True. Now, of course, what did help it was an all-star cast of excellent actors. Of course, we already mentioned Benedict Cumberbatch. You had Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo. You have Benedict Wong, who we've seen in so many things as Wong. Tilda Swinton, who is always excellent as the Ancient One. You also had Rachel McAdams.
Right. And you say Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo, who we see now in a lot of voiceover roles too. Mm-hmm. And
Benjamin Bratt as Jonathan Pangborn.
Yeah, and we're surprised to see him too.
So yeah, they had an all-star cast, and everyone worked well together and just really brought this story and this character to life. It was fantastic. The special effects were awesome.
Yeah.
Not knowing if Mordo became a villain in the comic book, did he?
I think so, because we're starting to see him in the animated version and stuff. I guess in here they want to start off good, and then you see him turn to the dark side when it gets to it, so you know he's going to be an antagonist.
Right, and he was excellent at it. Everyone was great at their roles. This was a fantastic movie. I can't imagine anything actually having made this movie better, and really am excited for the sequel that's coming out.
The Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So I mean, other than the time, we don't know that much else. They're going to introduce, I think, another antagonist, another new character that will join him, and that's about it. So I guess we'll find out.
The Ancient One can't be in the sequel.
Right. Yeah. So and then they'll probably expand the cast a little bit, because if you think about it, this cast was a little small. Mm-hmm. Not saying that was a bad thing, but compared to the movies like with Iron Man, Spider-Man, Avengers and stuff, there's always this wide range of characters that you have, whether they were major or smaller. And here they kind of condense it down to maybe 10 or less people in the movie, not counting the civilians and stuff. So that was a little different too for them, just keeping it short and simple and then having their story.
I think that was a great call because it allowed you to focus on that iconic classic characters and focus on the story as well as the special effects in telling that story.
Right.
I mean, you really were into seeing all the, like you said, interdimensional travel and how the magic was being performed and how he learned, and seeing the different levels that Mordo and the Ancient One and different people were at, you were focused on the story itself.
Right.
I think if there had been a bigger cast and additional arcs like some movies do,
right,
it would have taken away from the experience. So I think in this particular sense, it was a great movie.
Right.
It was a very smart movie.
Before we get into the special effects part, because that's definitely its own talk, is the fact that the movie is only an hour and 55 minutes. I know that seems like, well, it's nearly 2 hours. Well, the other movies are usually over 2 hours. They can be up to nearly 3 hours. You got a 2-part movie of Infinity War and Endgame together being 4 to 5 hours long if you watch them all at once. So for this movie to be less than 2 hours, just 5 minutes short of 2 hours, is a little different, but also strange because you're so used to it being 2 hours or longer and seeing all this story and, like you said, the mini arcs and stuff. But here it was just one story. Him becoming Doctor Strange is the entire plot. You see his backstory, you see what happened in the accident, you see why he needs to get the powers, he gets the powers, he fights the evil, the whole thing is one story. It's not a bunch of little different things going on and background things and characters from other movies popping up. You're just focused on the origin and the story of Doctor Strange and what his impact will be for Infinity War. That's it.
Absolutely. I agree. Another thing that made this movie stand out is they took a chance at making a movie on, at that time when this movie was made, we didn't have as many movies and shows that dealt with the subject that were out.
Right.
Now it's a trope. Every show, even if it's not the arc of the show or what the show's about, everyone's got it in it. Whether it's live action, animated, anime, this is in everything.
With
now.
Like interdimensional traveling
Exactly.
and stuff, yeah.
But they took a real chance on this particular character that I'm sure has a fan base, but a lot of people really weren't knowledgeable about prior to the movie. Putting this actor in the role of doing it, not just getting someone that, you know, who was like Robert Downey Jr. and so forth.
Right.
Benedict Cumberbatch has his fans, including me, from different roles and things he's performed.
Right.
And they took a chance on him bringing to the role what it needed, which was also a great payoff. Tilda Swinton, as I said, always wonderful. Mordo, I don't know if they changed him for this role. As you said, he started off good, and then he went to the dark side. But what has now become a trope, when this movie was made, was not a trope.
Right.
But it made it a trope.
Right.
And everything you watch now, everything, you know, there's interdimensional travel.
Right. And especially you see in DC when they have like Constantine and stuff, they made him sort of like Doctor Strange now in a way with his powers. So, and for the special effects, they were really, really well done. I mean, it really went all out with not just the traveling, but when they always have them going on the astral plane and stuff, and
the cape, and his cape,
yes, his cape is sentient. That was really a nice touch. I guess, you know, while other characters have a little animal sidekick, he's got a cloak sidekick, and it was sentient. And when it hugs, he said, "Stop it!" and it would always do things. It was kind of like. It was kind of like it's an animal sidekick crossed with like when they have like a little sentient object like the tail or a staff or something, and it moves on its own. It has its own little personality without talking, and that's kind of what it did. It would move on its own. If he didn't do anything, it would move on its own. It would do things. It would grab things. It would protect him. It wanted hugs.
Yes, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. So, again, this was an absolute knocked out of ballpark winner for Marvel. Great move in bringing this character to life.
Yeah.
So, if you have seen Doctor Strange, and or if you've also read the comic books, let us know what you think of this character and this movie in the comments below.
Right. And be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and World of Paws videos.
Definitely, especially on the sequel, which we will also cover.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Masculine Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. With her in my dreams, she was my queen. mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket.